Officer Daniels and his partner Rocky were on a routine patrol when they stumbled upon an abandoned suitcase at the desolate train station. As Rocky's trained nose zeroed in on the unassuming luggage, Officer Daniels couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Officer Daniels knew that something was up when he felt his trusty partner Rocky pull on the leash as hard as he could. The dog would only react like this if he had detected something very serious. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Officer Daniel let Rocky lead the way, but he was a bit confused as to where the dog was going. But right now, Rocky was pulling him to the central waiting area. And sure enough, there was not a person in the area whose eyes were not on Daniel and Rocky when they came rushing into the waiting area. Not long after, Daniel finally saw what Rocky had been reacting to so strongly. This could not be good. In the distance, he could clearly see a very large suitcase lying on the ground. Something was not right here. It was clear that this suitcase had been the target of Rocky's chase. He only briefly sniffed it before taking a couple of steps back and sitting down. This was a bad sign, as Rocky was trained to stay close to his find and start barking. Seeing as the suitcase had no owner and Rocky was responding so heavily to it, he needed to start the protocol. He quickly called for backup from other security officers and started setting up a perimeter around the suitcase. The news of the suspicious yellow suitcase started to spread like wildfire through the airport. They needed to make sure that they were not dealing with any kind of explosive here. Rocky was giving mixed signals, which made their assessment very difficult. Daniel had a big decision to make. In the distance, the loud sirens heralded the arrival of the bomb squad. The team began to unpack an array of specialized equipment, from robots to protective suits. Whispered conversations filled the air as passengers tried to piece together what was happening, their unease palpable. With the terminal's fate hanging in the balance, the decision was made to put all outgoing flights on hold. The announcement sent shockwaves throughout the crowds, many of whom were already seated, waiting for takeoff. With precision and caution, the bomb squad positioned the suitcase for an X-ray scan, their movements deliberate and practiced. As the first images appeared on their monitor, a cloud of uncertainty settled over the team. The results, far from what they'd expected, were enigmatic and failed to provide a clear picture of the potential threat inside. The X-ray revealed an odd shape within the suitcase, neither the typical clothes and toiletries of a traveler nor the sinister outlines of known explosives. Seeking clarity, the bomb squad's lead technician approached Officer Daniels, hoping to gain insight into Rocky's reactions. They discussed the dog's training, his track record, and the specific behaviors he exhibited around the suitcase. Together, they tried to reconcile the dog's distress signals with the ambiguous findings from the X-ray. Given the conflicting information, Rocky's undeniable distress and the inconclusive X-ray results, the decision was made. They would wait. Inside the Security Command Center, multiple screens flicker as officers rewind and fast-forward through hours of footage. Their focus, tracing the origin of the mysterious suitcase. Beads of sweat form on the foreheads of operators as they scrutinize each frame, knowing the significance of their task. At 10:42 a.m., the footage reveals a lone individual, noticeably anxious, placing the suitcase near the check-in counter. Their behavior is distinctly odd. Glancing around, they seem to ensure nobody watches them. Once the suitcase is set down, they make a hasty exit, blending seamlessly into the crowd. Armed with clear stills from the video, a professional sketch artist gets to work. Within a couple of hours, a detailed profile emerges, highlighting distinct features: a scar near the left eyebrow, piercing blue eyes, and a patchy beard. The image is promptly printed and disseminated both internally and to other law enforcement agencies. The hunt is on. In the midst of the chaos, the security hotline buzzes. The voice on the other end is distorted, almost mechanical. "The suitcase is just a decoy," the voice rasps. "Look beyond the obvious." Before any questions can be fired back, the line goes dead. The room is filled with a heavy silence, the weight of the implications settling in. Daniel, having been briefed on the anonymous tip, feels a knot tighten in his stomach. Was this a credible threat or just a prank in the midst of the tension? Taking no chances, Daniel orders the evacuation of another terminal. Security teams sweep the area, their trained eyes scanning for anything unusual. The vast terminals echo with the sound of hurried footsteps and hushed conversations. Multiple calls flood the security lines. An unattended backpack near Gate 12. A strange box in the restroom. Each report sends teams racing to the scene, but one by one the alarms prove false. A forgotten laptop bag, a box of lost toys, and an abandoned suitcase filled with clothes. In the sprawling maze of the airport, a breakthrough appears. An isolated cargo area, typically bustling, is eerily quiet. Daniel's trained eyes notice signs of forced entry and a discarded walkie-talkie on the ground. Inside the stark interrogation rooms, the stories begin to unravel. The detainees' accounts don't match up, and their reasons for being in the cargo area sound rehearsed. When the latches finally click open and the suitcase's lid is carefully lifted, the scene inside is both startling and heart-wrenching. Exotic, sedated animals, their eyes barely flickering, are crammed into tight spaces. Gasps of disbelief echo through the crowd, with many struggling to grasp the twist the day has taken. This wasn't about political motives or terror, but a heinous crime against nature. The terminal buzzes with discussions and speculations, with one phrase being whispered repeatedly: illegal wildlife trade. The syndicate's sophistication becomes apparent, leveraging busy airports to mask their illicit operations. The jittery man from the camera footage, previously an enigma, now has a name and a notorious reputation. Connected to numerous global smuggling operations, his criminal record is a maze of aliases and dark dealings. Yet, capturing him proves elusive, as he's always been, a step ahead of the law. Within hours, a tactical team pinpoints the trafficker's location, leading to his rapid capture. As he's paraded in front of flashing cameras, grim details of his operation emerge. Stories of animals stolen from the wild, many never surviving the journey, paint a picture of a heartless, expansive industry driven by greed. From the anxious hallways of the airport to national television, Rocky's tale of alertness captures the heart of the nation. He's awarded medals and treats, with tales of his diligence becoming legendary. Talk show hosts invite him, children send letters, and a newfound respect for canine units blossoms across the country. The incident has an unexpected consequence: a deepened bond between canine units and their handlers. Teams across the globe reiterate their training, using Rocky's story as an inspiration. The value of trust, intuition, and partnership is highlighted, with the world recognizing that machines can never replace the instinct of a loyal dog. The airport management, having faced a crisis of unprecedented scale, began revamping its security measures. New protocols emphasizing detailed checks, especially for unattended baggage, are introduced. Workshops for staff on recognizing signs of wildlife trafficking are organized, ensuring the airport remains a bastion against illegal activities.